everyone, welcome. My name is Rebecca Powers. I am the Sales and Customer Care Manager at Village Farm Tiny Home Community. Before explaining our project and what we're creating in Northeast Austin off of Decker Lane, I'd like to briefly introduce myself. I am absolutely obsessed, probably in unhealthy ways, with intentional community, eco-village development, and tiny homes. Part of the reason that I'm so passionate about this movement is because I myself have experienced the joy and liberation from downsizing. About 3.5 years ago, I was on the search for a tiny home. I was a single female spending almost $1,000 a month on renting an apartment, and it popped into my mind, hey, what if I took that $12,000 I spent the last year on rent and allocated that budget toward a tiny home purchase? Well, at this time, obviously tiny homes are more than $12,000, and also there was zero financing available for tiny homes. And I posted on Facebook and was looking for some advice. My friends were like, just buy a travel trailer and renovate it, make it cute. So I ended up doing just that. Within 2 weeks, I had purchased what I call a glamper. And I really never thought at the age of 23 I'd own my home. And it was really financially liberating, spiritually liberating. I had an opportunity to travel more frequently and actually own the structure that I lived within. And that really changed my life and made me feel really fulfilled and grateful and just happy that I wasn't strapped down with rent and I actually owned something. In addition to this, I moved the glamper to a 50-acre ranch, pretty far out, so I was kind of isolated, and the whole goal was to build community. And while I loved where I lived and really felt a strong tie to the land, more than anything, what was missing in my life was a connection to people. And what I intended to build was community and having that really deep camaraderie and love for my neighbors. So that was lacking. Fast forward to August of 2018, I went to the Tiny House Jamboree in Austin, Texas, and I met a man named Ernesto, and he was presenting about a community called Village Farm. At this time, there were 0 residents. It was basically a vision, and in order to test the concept, they had ordered some tiny homes, 399 square foot park model RVs, so folks could walk through, see the different floor plans, and get a feel for what it would truly be like to live in a tiny dwelling. I went to the property and was absolutely amazed. I walked in the sales office and was like, I don't care what I do. I just want to be a part of this project. I will answer phones. I will do anything. I want to become a part of this community. This is cool. Well, at that time, it wasn't really a community. The first residents actually ended up moving in, though, in September, and it slowly started to grow. And by the time that April rolled around, I was lucky enough to become a part of the sales team. It really changed my life. Not only did I have a deep connection to everyone who lived there and the products that I was selling, but I really felt like we were onto something big. So present day, Village Farm Tiny Home Community is growing into a dynamic agrihood community with 160 tiny home lots. We presently have 47 lots on the perimeter of the Oak Forest RV Resort, primarily to test the concept. And so there's literally like immediate move-in availability. We have 11 homes for sale right now. There's actually 2 homeowners who are reselling their homes for more than what they purchased them for, which is very interesting. Everyone always asks, well, what if I move in and I have a life situation where I need to leave? We always had advised that they would depreciate. However, they made improvements to the land. They did double driveways, they added a storage shed. So interestingly enough, they're actually selling their homes for more, which shows the value of the interesting community that we're building. Right now, of those 42 lots that are presently resided within, there's 5 that are our sales model homes. We're actually over halfway full. There's 27 homes that have sold, and we have 3 more coming in December. So I project that by February, that entire side will be filled in, And then, what most people are really excited about are the 112 tiny home lots that will become available around a certified organic farm. We didn't stop there though. Not only have we renovated the farmhouse and renovated the barn, we have aspirations to also build a general store where you could literally walk from your tiny home to the general store to buy your certified organic farm produce. We're also building a bistro, so you could walk on in, grab a coffee, do some co-working. And in addition to this, down the road, we intend to build an amphitheater. It's Austin, Texas. We're all about the live music, so of course we had to incorporate that into the site plan. In addition, we have aspirations to have celebrity chefs come out and do demonstration cooking events, and what we're building is more than just a tiny home community. It's truly going to be an attraction. These are the 9 different floor plans that we presently offer. You'll notice that they're far larger than many of the floor plans available that you see at this show. Ours are legally considered park model RVs. They're 399 square feet, and what we've done that's very different is that we have literally created what we call a park package, where it's all turnkey, ready to move into. There were so many unanswered questions about the tiny home movement. How do I transport my tiny home from the builder? How do I hook it up to utilities so I can actually live in it and take warm showers and have appliances? How do I finance a tiny home? How do I set up a driveway and make it look pretty with skirting and landscaping? And what if there's a hurricane or intense weather conditions? How can I make it as safe as possible? I'm not trying to brag, but these are all questions that came to our mind, and we resolved those problems and are offering now a turnkey solution to tiny home living. And these are the 9 that we presently have available for our residents to choose from. We're totally open-minded though, so on the farm side, we may very well bring on different floor plans or drop others, and truly the ones that are most popular are the ones with a loft. Everyone loves the fact that there's more storage. It's not counted in the square footage, so it's bonus space. And then you can also have guest sleeping quarters, or if you have kiddos, it provides an opportunity for them to have their own space. And believe it or not, we do have a family that lives on site with 3 girls, all under the age of 10, and they homeschool. So tiny home living is very doable even if you do have children. This is what our community looks like today. There's some of the residents doing yoga. The other one, they're models, but you get the idea. We do actually genuinely get together very frequently and have fun events. These are also some photos of the present property. So we have the different floor plans. Sometimes we'll have musicians come out. We'll bring out some food trucks and do a foodie fest. And we're really wanting to welcome people into this development, primarily because it's a radical concept. It's very alternative. But when people are actually there and they see how special it is, that's what switches the perception of, having a 3,200 square foot home and downsizing to 399. When they see how beautiful it is and how attainable it is, it becomes that much more real. So we like to have a lot of events. This is just some of the reasons that people would choose our property. We do have RVIA certification, so they're structurally sound. They are, really built with integrity. We have friendly staff. We just actually had a very dramatic and interesting experience on site, which in a weird way helped our project flourish and grow. So as a company, rather than being in denial and saying, no, the residents are wrong, we actually took an approach of, okay, we hear you and let's switch up management so that we can accommodate your needs. So I think the energy of land development is hard, but the energy put into keeping residents happy and managing expectations and really following through with what's been marketed to them and sold to them is a whole other level of dedication. And the people who are involved with this project really want to see this vision succeed. Nothing like this has been done before. We're definitely pioneering a new agrihood type of land development and residential development, all surrounding the certified organic farm and these big concepts. And it's it's had its difficulties as our project has proceeded, but thankfully I think it's the manure that was needed in order for our beautiful lotus flower to bloom, and the residents are expressing that sentiment to me. Many of them were here yesterday, and things are really looking up, and we're excited about the side that's going to be across the street with 112 lots around the farm. So back to having events, a lot of individuals are attracted to this concept. People who want to downsize, the minimalist group came out, for instance. We had like 80 people looking through our tiny homes. This was just a small picture, but it just goes to show the different demographics that are interested in this concept. Minimalists, people who are very interested in farming and organic produce, people who are musicians, caretakers. There's a nurturing energy about our community, and I think that has attracted the demographic that has ended up purchasing their home with us and residing here full-time at Village Farm. Interestingly enough, we actually have a lot of empty nesters and retired folks who will literally just sell their home and then come buy one of our tiny homes for a fraction of the price, and then they're set for retirement. We also have a lot of millennials, a lot of single women, a lot of newlyweds, and so it's really attracted this incredibly charming and rich, diverse portfolio of individuals who presently reside in our community and are consistently coming out for tours to see how they can become involved. At this present time, we have 11 tiny homes for sale. So if you're interested, please do come on out, visit our community. We're literally like 15 to 20 minutes away out on Decker. So we invite all of you to come out for a tour or to go to open house. At the very least, if you'd like to visit our website to learn more, it's villagefarmaustin.com. The orange and red indicate where we have present availability. And interestingly enough, as I mentioned previously, 2 homeowners unexpectedly are selling their homes. So there's a lot of availability right now, and we'd love to have you. We're extending a 6-month community fee waived promotion. So essentially what we charge for your lot lease, it's a 1-year land lease. So should you choose to leave, you could always take your home with you. But it locks you into that rate, and that rate is awesome. It's under market value. We know that there's a long-term longevity with moving into one of these tiny homes. So we've extended a lower community fee, and that's everything. We do landscaping, it's your basic cable of 80 channels, basic internet, your access to the pools, the hot tub, resort style living, the community center that has an awesome arcade and playscape and just beautiful co-working space. And so there's all of these on-site amenities. We do trash pickup, there's recycling. And so your community fee is not just your land lease, it's basically everything in order to live on site and have resort style living. And we're gonna waive that for 6 months if you're at the trade show and you want to move into one of these homes in our community. And really why people choose Village Farm is because not only do they want to have a connection to the food that they eat, and be there and be present where the certified organic farm produce is being grown, but also to have a connection to their neighbors. Like, I've never been a part of a community where I know everyone by their first name. It's not the kind of neighborhood where you go into your garage, put the garage door down, go inside of your house and never talk to anyone next to you. We have patios in our, front of our homes. You see your neighbors, you wave, we have fun events, and it really feels incredible to have that deep connection to the individuals that you live so close to. They're not just friends, it really feels like intentional community, and it's beautiful. And then of course a connection to the land. So we have this desire to steward the land, to preserve the farm, and also we have raised garden beds, and so there's even opportunity to grow your own veggies, and we'll be incorporating edible landscaping on the farm side. It's going to be incredibly unique. So we're very excited to see this roll out. And just in case you've never heard of what an agrihood is, I know it's a pretty new concept. An agrihood is an organized community that integrates agriculture into a residential neighborhood. The purpose of these communities is to facilitate food production while at the same time providing recreation for members of the community. So our interaction with the farm as residents is going to be a little bit unique. It will be commercially run. Most of the residents, I imagine, will opt in for the CSA, community supported agriculture, and have a really close tie and connection to the land and the food that's nourishing our bodies. This is the site plan for the site across the street, truly the pulse and heart of Village Farm. So the farmhouse is right here, number 1. Then the barn is right here at 4. This is going to be parking. All these little green circles are the edible landscaping we intend to incorporate. The pink rectangles are parking spaces. So we're gonna have parking around the perimeter of the development. It's a concept developed by Ross Chapin. Cottage community, you walk into the community. There's these beautiful decomposed granite pathways. And you walk into your home. So your view is not of cars. You don't hear the hustle bustle of the road. You're right next to the farm. And that's your lifestyle, slower, calming, relaxing, close to the farm, close to your neighbors. And there will be availability for the first 29 lots, fingers crossed, for our first quarter of 2020. This is a rendering of what the pathways will look like. If you do visit Village Farm presently, you'll see this theme. It's already live and in place. Very dog friendly, lots of dog parks and fun little pathways. This one is a rendering of what it will look like when there's no parking lots attached to the lot spaces. This is a rendering of the amphitheater that we're going to build down the road. So we'll be able to have really cool events and individuals come out for live music, concerts. So not just the residents who live there, but even members of the community in Austin. And this is a rendering of what all of it will look like thrown together with the farm. So at this time, I know I've kind of gone on a long spiel about Village Farm Tiny Home Community. I'm so impressed with what we've created already, and I can't even explain how passionate I am about seeing this project through to the end. And it is thrilling, it's exciting. I hope that we will inspire more individuals to replicate the model that we've created, because this alternative lifestyle is providing individuals an opportunity to downsize, spend less, and not be tied to their mortgage in the ways that many Americans are right now, the deep housing crisis and affordability crisis that we're experiencing in Austin. And so I invite you all to visit our property firsthand and to see how special what we are creating is. We're just northeast of where we're located right now at the convention center off of Decker Lane. It literally took me 15 minutes yesterday when there was no traffic to get here. So it's very, very close to downtown, 6 to 8 miles. It's an awesome location. And what really makes it so special are the individuals who live there and the very cute and affordable, attainable housing that we've provided on site. At this time, I'd like to open up the floor to Q&A. So thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, I'll pass the mic.
I don't need the mic, but
Okay.
Could you tell us more about the CSA?
Yes. I'm a member of the CSA right now. Because the farm's not operational right now, because it's shut down for all the construction, like literally every day at the sales office, all we hear is beep, beep, beep. So there's no way you could be growing food on the farm side right now. We're hoping it'll come back up in February and maybe have the CSA back for residents in April. However, right now, Greengate Farms, they have a separate farm in Bastrop as well, and they drop off to our community, and we just go to Shelby's porch. She's my neighbor, our neighbor. I live on site, and we'll just pick it up there on Thursdays, and that's been our short-term solution, and it's been working really well. So that's how we've been kind of getting around the construction in order to still be a part of the CSA. But in the future, I would imagine we could just go pick it up from the general store, or have it dropped off at your tiny home. We'll figure something out, I'm sure, to make it as convenient as possible. Yes?
Can these tiny homes be made ADA compliant?
ADA?
Americans with Disabilities?
So if you have a wheelchair, we've looked into that. We can build ramps, so if you can't use stairs, that would be fine. I would just recommend a home without a loft. We can do some customizations like the shower. Truthfully, they're so small, it might not be an ideal solution, but I'm sure that if that was something that was a need, we could figure out a way to accommodate it. We build a lot of the patios on site, so we could just do a ramp instead of stairs and figure out the shower solution so it's more open. Like just coming to mind right now, we offer a home called the Haven. There's another one called the Kona, and if we did a ramp instead of stairs, it should be able to accommodate someone's needs for ADA.
What about the doorways? Would y'all be able to like widen the doorways and things like that?
Yep, so if you needed the doorway to be widened or if you needed any changes to be incorporated, we would basically just call the builder. We work with 4, and we say, well, first we need to know what floor plan you're interested in, and we can say, hey, they want to purchase the home, however, we'd like to incorporate these changes. And they may come back to us and say, no, we can't, or they come back to us more than likely and say, yes, we can, but it's going to cost this much more. Because they might have to go back to the drawing board in regard to electrical lines and the whole framing and all of this. But most of them are very wide, like mine has French doors, and so I would imagine most of them could accommodate.
We don't have a tiny house yet, but if we were interested and we had our own, would we be available to have like the land lease, or do we have to go with your plans and for houses?
Okay, that's a really good question. At this time, we do not allow individuals to bring their own tiny home to our property. We sell the homes to individuals, and then those are the approved floor plans. It's not that we're trying to be strict. It's primarily because we're literally among the first creating a community like this, and our desire is to really have a cohesive, aesthetically pleasing, beautiful community. And we're interested in having one with neutral colors or similar kind of scheme so that when you drive through, it's not unsightly. Not that yours would be unsightly, but truly it is an opportunity to prove that this model will work, that it can be done and be executed very well and beautifully.
So like a community with an HOA.
Well, technically it's not an HOA because we're not homeowners, we're RV owners, but in a sense, yeah, I mean, what we're doing right now is really wanting to build something that is cohesive. So there are some, like if someone were to come to me and want to do a custom build, I've had to say no to like a bright red door. So we're not trying to be controlling, we're just truly wanting it to be cohesive. There's also concerns if you do a DIY tiny home. What if the electrical wasn't set up appropriately and it's not RVIA certified? That could bring about an electrical fire. And just to receive the homeowner's insurance and to know the builder and trust the integrity of their designs and what they create, there's a peace of mind and like less liability and really understanding that what we're putting on the land is not going to be a safety hazard and that it will all match and look really beautiful. But if you were to come to us and say, hey, I really like this floor plan and I would like to purchase it, we can see what we could do to accommodate your request. I just did that recently with a client, and we did a custom build. Never have had the floor plan. It's not even marketed on our website. She just came to us with the idea, and it matched. It had the same cottagey sort of feel. So we said, sure, why not?
Okay.
Yep.
You said there'd be an opportunity to garden or raise vegetables. Do you have raised beds or community gardening?
Yes, so I invite you to visit our property. Right now we have 2 different sections on the oak forest side of the development for raised garden beds. There's about 10 total, maybe 8 to 10 total, and the residents, it's basically their responsibility to steward and maintain those beds. They haven't been yielding very well. The last season, the okra did well, the peppers did well. Somebody planted like squash with another vegetable that was not compatible and it killed everything. And so I think we're learning as we go, but we're actually also building around 18 to 20 on the farm side as well, and that's where our compost bins will go. My desire is to have us all meet up and say, hey, let's do a planting event, like a perma-blitz, and we could just all kind of decide, okay, the cucumbers are going here, the squash is going there, the okra is going here, and make sure we don't have those issues that we experienced this year. Oh no, that's just part of living at Village Farm and bringing the agrihood concept to life. It's part of the community experience.
Who runs Green Gate Farm?
Right now, Skip and Aaron run Greengate Farms. We're still working out with them, with the sustainability department, and also with a consulting firm that they brought on to kind of oversee how this would all be run commercially. And I'm not sure what their capacity of involvement will be. At one point, they were living in the farmhouse, and that was a huge point of the whole project coming to life. They saved the farm, and it was very heroic and incredible and so inspiring. So they run Greengate Farms, and they're primarily based in Bastrop, where y'all are at. Maybe you've had a chance to visit. Much more acreage there, an opportunity to really run a professional CSA. But as far as the farmers who will actually be working full-time for our commercial operation, we're, to be truthful with you, still figuring out how all of that's going to pan out. I actually just saw him yesterday, though, and we had a nice conversation. So they live on site, and they're very sweet and kind and have been very active in this process.
I know there are other agri-hoods in the U.S., but this is the first tiny home agri-hood, is it not?
There are other agri-hoods in the U.S. The CEO of our company, Scott Roberts, so inspired by his work and his dedication to see this vision come to life, come to fruition. He actually visited many of the agri-hood developments who do have the site-built homes and more of the traditional home construction techniques to gain the inspiration and the understanding of how we would pull this off. Are there other agri-hood tiny home communities? I can't answer that conclusively. I'm not sure. I thought I saw like a Facebook post about one in Detroit. I'm not totally positive. I do know what we're doing is very unique. We've worked with the sustainability department to zone it in such a way that it's actually an RV park. But we were able to preserve the acreage in the heart of the community for the certified organic farm. And my understanding is that this has never been done before. So we're definitely cutting edge and very alternative and kind of leading this opportunity for individuals to buy a home, know that they're not going to get kicked off the land, know that it's been zoned appropriately, and they have very limited liability and an opportunity to really live this tiny home lifestyle and like have it be financed and actually have homeowners insurance or RV insurance. And we worked out a lot of the kinks so this agri-hood could come about in a way that wouldn't be problematic with the state. Yes, we're working through that right now because we don't want like onesie, twosie Airbnb rentals, because the whole idea of this is to build community and to know your neighbors and have deep connection with your neighbors. And so we're selling a lifestyle. And it would be, I think, really unfortunate if someone was renting their home out and people were partying in the tiny home and it was loud and unpleasant then for the permanent dwellers. So what we've considered is having a particular section specifically for Airbnb rentals. But that being said, there's a woman who just contacted me. She's doing a internship with the Center for Maximized Building Potential, wants to live on site for 6 months. So to us, a 6-month rental, that's plenty of time to get to know your neighbors. So something like that is absolutely permissible. At this time, we actually, just to be truthful with y'all, we do have 2 residents who are Airbnb-ing their homes, onesie, twosie kind of deals. But they're both like literally, however it worked out, on the ends of the road. So like the one woman doesn't even have neighbors yet until that area is filled in next month. And then the other woman is on the end of the road too. So there's not really any disturbance, so nobody's complained. So we haven't like come in with an iron fist and said, no, you can't do this.
But are you in Austin specifically where no Airbnbs are allowed?
We're, interestingly enough, in the county.
Okay.
Yeah, so that has provided us more of a free market or free approach to this. There's less, more lax regulation and codes. So, yes. Okay, well, it looks like there aren't any other questions, but if anything comes to mind, I'll be at booth 302 with my coworker, Steven. We're happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much for hearing me out, and if you'd like to join our community, my intention coming up to this stage is to invite you to join us in this incredible, intentional agri-hood community that we're building in Northeast Austin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Woo!